It's Liz from No Trace, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these easy peasy, super cute, reusable facial scrubbies. So these are a great sustainable alternative to disposable facial rounds, the kind that you use once and throw away. You can use these over and over again, toss them in with your regular laundry, and then once they're totally worn out, you can compost them at home if you use an all-natural fiber like a cotton or a hemp. And as long as you have a little bit of fabric lying around your house and a sewing machine, these will sew up real quick, and you'll probably want to make a bunch for yourself and a bunch to give away. They're super easy and a fun little beginner sewing project. And it's a great way to green up your beauty routine. These work perfect for removing makeup and putting on facial toner or astringent. They also work great for taking off a facial mask or putting on face cream. And it's really easy to do, so let me walk you through the steps. For this tutorial, you're gonna need scraps of fabric that measure, so these are all squares that measure about 3.5 inches on all 4 sides. I have some that are a little bit smaller than that, and those will work too. And I use the squares that I cut out when I make tote bags and lunch bags. I save all those scraps and repurpose them for things like this. So hopefully you have some scraps laying around that you can use. You can make them as large as 4 inches on all 4 sides, but they don't really need to be much bigger than that. If you have some organic cotton batting, that's a really nice addition to your facial scrubbies. So we'll put that on the inside, and that helps them be a bit more absorbent if you're using a toner or an astringent on your face. So you want a little more absorption power. You're also going to need some pins, scissors. You're going to need a pencil or a chopstick to turn your facial scrubbies around, to turn them right side out, thread, and you're also going to need an iron. The first step is to pin your pieces of fabric together with the right sides facing. And if you have batting, you'll want to put that on top as well so that it's going to end up being on the inside. And you just need to pin it, line up your edges, and you just need to pin it in a few spots. And you might not even need to pin it depending on how comfortable you are with taking this over to your machine. But I'm just going to put a few pins in there. And then for the fabric that doesn't have the batting, you'll just put those, pin those together, right sides facing on a few different sides. And then we're going to take these over to the machine and we're going to stitch on 3 sides these scraps of fabric, leaving one side open. And you want to back stitch at the start and at the stop when you make your seam around the scraps. So I went ahead and stitched on all 3 sides for 3 different sets of scraps. These 2 have batting on the back, and this one doesn't. It's just plain fabric stitched on all 3 sides. So next I'm going to turn these right side out. Oh, and I want to mention that this is about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so it's pretty close to the edge of the fabric, and that allows you to have a bigger facial scrubby when you're done sewing it up. So next you're going to turn these right side out, and if you want to trim the corners off with your scissors, you can, and then if you're using organic cotton or just regular cotton, you can just compost those little bits. If you're using a fabric that's not an all-natural fiber, you wouldn't want to put that in your compost, so it would be trash. I'm going to leave the corners on because I think it's fine that way. So now we just turn it right side out. And this is where your chopstick or your pencil comes in handy. Go ahead and poke those corners out. And do the same thing on all of your pieces of fabric. So now that they're all turned right side out with the batting on the inside for the ones that have the batting, the next step is to fold in that open edge, and you'll probably want to take it over to your iron and press that down so you get a nice straight edge there. And do that for all of your facial scrubbies. Go ahead and fold them in and then press them, and you'll probably want to pop a pin in there so that it stays in place when you take it to the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and iron these and pin them. Now that they're all ironed, I'm just going to put a pin in that open part to hold it down when I take it over to the sewing machine. And one pin should be enough. Now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch real close to the edge on all 4 sides. And I'm going to make sure to start to do a little back and forth stitch where I start and end to really lock in those stitches. So that it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch from the edge after I'm done sewing it up. After you've stitched around all 4 sides, all you have to do is make sure that you caught that open side, you caught all of that opening in your seam so it's fully closed, and then go ahead and cut off any loose threads, and then your little facial scrubbies will be ready to use. So easy. So there you have it. That's how you make your reusable facial scrubbies. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to be the first to know about the newest releases for zero waste sewing, zero waste living tips, and DIY tutorials. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!